interview on Football Focus. That's on BBC One and BBC Sport Online from midday. Whatever it was, it sounded lovely, didn't it? Now, it is one of the fastest growing sports in the world and is booming across the UK now as well. You may have heard about a paddle tennis court being built near you and wondering what all the fuss is about. Well, since the Lawn Tennis Association and Andy Murray backed this form of tennis with its smaller, enclosed courts and solid rackets, the number of UK paddle tennis players has risen to 90,000, with dozens more courts due to open in the new year. I've been looking at what's behind its recent rapid growth. Across the UK, the race is on to build enough courts to meet the demand for the sport that's like tennis, like squash, two sports that 85-year-old Pete had to give up as he got older. But now paddle tennis, with its walled surrounds, has given him a new lease of life.
You don't have to run as much, it's not as hard and as manic as squash or racquetball.
I have played other sports like squash and tennis, but this is the most fun.
It's always doubles and underarm serving, and while the ball can only bounce once before you return it, if it goes past you, it doesn't mean the point is lost.
It's not so much twisting and turning and bounding around the court. It's a little bit more sort of cultured. It's more tactical, more decision making rather than just, going big.
The first time you give this a go, if you're a beginner, the thing you notice straight away is how you can stay in the game. Because even if you're up against a player much better than yourself, there we go. You can use the back wall and the sides, and it gives you a second chance. Making it easier to stay in the rally is what's appealing to the younger generations, like children's TV presenter Ben and Coronation Street's new bad boy Mason, played by Luca.
It's the fact I'm not very good. It kind of reminds me, paddle, of, Wii Sport. When you'd be in the living room and it's like kind of really back and forth, like a little fun rally.
If you play tennis or something, I like playing tennis, but if someone's way better than you and they've got a big serve or big smash, the ball goes past you and you're done. Whereas in this, you can wait, it comes back off the glass, and then you're still in with a chance.
People wanted instant gratification, so they want to go on court and they want to straight away play a game where they can be good at.
It was a Mexican businessman down in Acapulco who first built a court with walls and sides at his holiday home in the late 1960s. He was fed up of balls going over into the neighbour's garden or down the hillside at the back. Sadly, Enrique is no longer around to see his legacy around the world, including now the UK, where the Lawn Tennis Association has taken paddle under its wing. And the two-time Wimbledon champion, Andy Murray, is on board, playing it last year, and more recently has helped back new courts and a paddle team.
Any racket sports that the general public, but children, can pick up and have a go at when they're younger is really important. And even if it's not picking up a tennis racket for the first time, if it's picking up a paddle racket, I see that as being a really positive thing also for the future of tennis.
Such support from Murray and the LTA means that in the last 4 years the number of courts has shot up from 50 to 350, with the emphasis now being on making it cheaper and more widely available.
We're working with various operators, also local authorities and council, etc., to look at ways in which they can offer things for free, let people try it. We're looking at different activation days as well, where we supply the equipment, supply the balls, so people can just turn up, give it a try, and hopefully have an enjoyable experience, and from there, hopefully, it can expand further.
On these Cheshire courts, you don't need to be a member, just download an app, the equipment is free, and you can hire a court for an hour for 4 of you for just over £6 each. In contrast, courts at the palatial London Palladium in Canary Wharf are 3 times as much. But it does call itself the home of paddle, and this is where we see the UK's new professionals playing in a Pro-Am event. Full-time players like Amy, who are now funded on the LTA's new Performance Pathway programme.
Spending more time on the court, as before I was trying to do a full-time job and train, so now I'm spending a lot more time in Spain training, working hard. In Spain they've got the best players, best coaches, so trying to learn from them.
Coming from tennis, you don't actually realise that you've got walls around you. Muscle instinct is to try and take it beforehand, but the sooner you start using the walls, the easier it does actually become. It changes the game completely.
In the Pro-Am tournament, it was also clear how popular paddle is proving with athletes from other sports. Cricketers and footballers, ex-players like John Terry and Bobby Zamora play regularly. Premier League clubs like Manchester City and Liverpool now have paddle courts at their training grounds.
The Low impact, a lot of fun, everybody gets to go. When they're at the training ground for a long time, you know, sometimes the full day, you know, it's a little break up and something to do.
You're not moving too much, so there doesn't seem to be too much of an injury risk. A few of the guys played in India seem to be paddle rackets on the Christmas list.
You've got to have the good hand-eye coordination, same as in cricket. You're ultimately smacking the ball like you do in cricket, and you've got to be quick and agile.
The sport already has Olympic ambitions given its global spread. The players of all abilities, now enjoying rallies together, have a lot to thank that Mexican for and his wayward shots over the fence. And Naga, you're with Enrique, the Mexican, hitting the ball out into the neighbours.
That's why I don't play tennis, because I literally will hit the ball and it goes like 3 courts away. It's I've got no control, so this sounds perfect for someone like me.
But it's not looking to replace tennis, and of course tennis is still going to be dominant because you've got the art of the serve, and we don't want to lose that. But it is an alternative, and especially as a good point that actually in this age of everything needs to be instant, isn't it? Instant gratification. Youngsters taking up a sport, they don't want to spend 6 months learning it because they'll lose interest and go and do something else. That's the problem.
You can kind of enjoy it straight away.
Yeah, that's key.
It's good.
The music earlier.
Oh yes, so this was in the Leah Williamson learning to play while she's injured, the England captain.
It was You're
BBC
Still the One,
Orchestra.
Shania Twain.